I'm here today with Burial Etiquette from Thunder Bay, Ontario. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Excellent.
This is pretty good. Yeah. How are you doing?
Great. So just so the audience listening in knows, can I get your guys' names again, please?
I'm Jacob Hanley. I play guitar and do vocals. I'm Olivia Jocelyn. I do bass and vocals. I'm Ryan DeFrey. I do drum and vocals.
Awesome. And you guys had your first EP come out in 2018, and since then, I believe you've done two dual splits. I think one with Coma Regalia, and then your most recent one, in addition to the Cube split on Zegama Beach. Do you guys have any full length material that you're planning on coming out with soon, or has it mostly been these sort of shorter EPs, split type stuff that you're planning on doing for the next little while?
Right. So, with the stuff that you mentioned, we also have an album that we've been working on for 2 years that we're just putting the finishing touches on, and two other splits are we just sent off for mastering, so those should be coming up.
Oh, wow! So quite a bit of stuff in the barrel. So with working on that album for the past two and a bit years, how do you like sort of decide what goes on the album, what goes onto a split, what is like? Because I think there's only like two songs on the Cube split and probably like eight other songs between the two other splits. I mean, that's enough for an album itself. So what's the decision
I mean,
making?
the big thing is with the album, I feel like every time we write a song for it, it felt like lyrically, instrumentally, it belonged together. You know, if we written with a similar concept lyrically, these songs to, like we said, like 2 years, maybe even more, we'll be playing them again and again. Where song one, I'm still be more like energetic, spur of the moment, put it together. Whereas the album songs, like we played them again and again, I suppose, for years and years, and refined them to a point where, okay, if this was on a vinyl, I would be happy with it. So.
Hmm. Based on the stuff you guys have released so far, I mean, how I discovered you was listening to that Cube split on record, and your song "Promise" on that is just fantastic. It's probably one of my favorite songs of the year, I think, so far. So if the quality of that song is sort of your get something out without refining it too much, then I'm really excited to hear what you have in store with the new album. In terms of coming from Ontario, the scene there, I know there was that huge screamo type fest that Gospel played earlier this year. But in terms of obviously before, after pandemic, how have things sort of shaken up over there?
Well, see, one thing I say is we in Thunder Bay, Ontario, we're kind of isolated from Southern Ontario and Toronto and where the festivals happen and stuff. We did play New Friends Fest before COVID, the second time. But other than that, we're kind of secluded, stick to our own shows and stuff. To put it into perspective, we're like 18 hours away from like Toronto.
Okay, yeah.
Like, and it's 8 hours away from like Winnipeg. So we're pretty much just by ourselves, together. So makes it a little bit harder to want to go see like some of our favorite bands. COVID honestly kind of buckled us down to concentrate on recording. I think that most of our splits got done because it was like, okay, we're not playing shows locally anymore. Let's write some awesome songs and do splits with other bands. Kind of get more attention from other directions kind of thing, especially because in Thunder Bay, it can be hard to find a good amount of people who connect with our music. There is a lot of people who connect deeply with it, but not a widespread amount, I'd say. And that's why it's nice playing doing splits and getting other people to be able to listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to have that sense of community through online groups and forums and stuff has been really nice. During COVID, we actually got to play social distance fest, which was like there's like a series of bands that got asked to like live stream. That was pretty cool. Thinking about like still being able to connect during COVID also. So yeah.
Awesome. In terms of, because it almost looks to me, I'm just looking at a map of where Thunder Bay is. I thought it was near Hudson's Bay, but it looks like it's on one of the Great Lakes. It almost looks like Minneapolis is closer to you guys than either of the two Canadian cities. Do you ever go down there at all and
Yeah.
play a bit?
Crossing the border to play music is a little rough, right?
Yeah.
You have to pay the work visa per member and things like that. So we never tried crossing the border even to play music. It would be fun though. Yeah. I'm not opposed to it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, with regards to your style, it's sort of like, to my ears, almost like a mix between indie, pardon, indie and screamo. It's got a bit of, at times, like a lighter, more melodic flavor to it, but still very springy, still very hard hitting. What are some of your influences or reference places for that?
As far as like the vocals go, like we've always really loved bands where like multiple members are doing vocals and like trade offs. Like Rodin is one that's like comes to mind. Eric's Trip. I would set myself for music one as well. Yeah, they have a really nice dynamic of soft and loud, and just really combining like the melodic singing with like more like vulnerable and intense like screams. Like you really get something really interesting, I think.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of a. I think Eric's Trip is a great reference point. There's also like, I don't know, like even with that, anytime you talk about dynamics, of course, like the Pixies come to mind, the soft,
Yeah.
quiet, loud thing, and I think it to me it always works really well because it creates a distance and a dynamicism, and um, the more of a difference there is, the more impactful it is when you guys get really loud. So I saw recently that you guys were playing. I think it might have been just like a one night fest thing for. It was this girls front. How was that? What was the story behind that?
That was at the local venue that we recently just started playing at post COVID. Actually, it's the Legion in the area that we're at, and it's really nice because like the sound there is really cool, and it's always cool to play like a new venue and stuff that's like okay with putting up, I guess, like experimental acts or just non-cover bands really, and it was a really great experience. There was a lot of like young people that came out. We had made like a ton of merch like over COVID, just like posters and stickers and tapes and the cube vinyl. So it was really cool to actually like have a lot of that just go all at once. Like people wanted it. The Girls to the Front show also. It was like I think it's like the first in the series that oh my goodness. Yeah, Frank from Fox. It's another venue in town. Basically, they tried to have more like them, like fronted quote unquote bands or bands that had like female stems in it. So we were asked to join that, which was that's what goes with them. Yeah, it was cool. It was neat. We got to meet some. I got to play with a band called Clubby too. This first time ever seeing them, they were amazing. So it's a lot of bands like after COVID have been starting to like pop up out of everywhere. So it's neat that other people were also inspired to like pick up an instrument and do something during a really hard time for everyone. So yeah.
Awesome. So the new record you have coming out, do you have a label picked out for that already, or are you floating around, or?
So far, I believe we're leaning towards Sigma Beach. I'm actually pretty good friends with Dave Norman, so he's like one of my best friends. He said that he would put it out in a heartbeat, so I'm thinking that's what we're gonna do.
Great.
And we've been like fan of their label years. Like we have like dozens of their records. So.
Oh, it's a fantastic label, and to me, it's pretty crazy that it's based out of Nanaimo. Because I'd listened to a lot of their stuff and was wearing a shirt of Blue Youth, one of their bands, and that's how I found out about the label itself. Is I ran into Dave at a concert in Vancouver, and we started talking, and I didn't realize that they were so local. But yeah, it's a great little label. So with that, if you're on Zegama, do you think you might be making a trip out to Vancouver for a tour or a show or something?
We really want to. We really want to play the Zegama Beach Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Every single year, like they put the lineup up, like it looks so good. So, like it looks like it just feels like just a bunch of friends. Yeah, a bunch of our like online remote friends play it too, and like that would be really cool to go and see everyone and play a fest there. So if Dave ever listens or reads this, we would like to play Zegama Beach.
Excellent. Yeah, I think it was held in Chicago this year, wasn't it, or somewhere around there? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And then I guess the other thing is with the lyrical trade off between you two, uh, or sorry, the vocal trade off between you two. Do you write the lyrical parts independently, or do you write them together, or how does that process work?
A lot of the time, the three of us will discuss the concept or the feelings we're trying to invoke, and sometimes we'll work on lyrics together, and then for other times we'll just come in having had that initial discussion and show each other what we've written. And something we always try and do is we try and use our voices as a way to like depict different characters. So because we have three of us, we can tell a story. We have three different perspectives to work with, and that gives us a lot of like room. Especially specifically for like the album, it has a bunch of different parts to it that kind of like cohesively, almost like a play, essentially. That's kind of the energy that's coming from it.
Cool.
Like each one of us plays a very important role, and like we have like just it conducts it very well. Yeah, I think there's definitely different approaches. I know with the COVID split, we like sat down in a room, wrote just about every lyric together, bouncing off like this. The other times the album, I know Jacob has a lot of lyrics, and then we read those, get the ideas, and kind of like Ophelia said, we have our own characters respond to them and things like that, and like respond to things happening, story or the narrative of the lyrics with our own perspective on what might be conspiring or happening. Yeah.
Cool. So it's almost like well, it is a concept album. Then
Yeah. Totally.
That's awesome.
A lot
Not
of our favorite aspects.
pretty gutsy to do a concept album as a debut, I must say. But it seems like you guys have spent a lot of time on it and thought it through a lot. So that's exciting to hear.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I think that goes over everything.